Hi guys, Jessica here with the Real AI Agents, and I'm so excited about the newest updates that happened recently in Leonardo AI. We now have style reference to take an image and put a spin on it, add a new prompt, and blend them together to create something new and magical blended between the two. We have SolarPunk, which has been a super cool element to work with that blends tech and nature together. And we have Fiery Flames, which adds fire to any of your image prompts. And we have my personal favorite element that's been added, which is Psychedelic Art. It is making some really cool designs in the system, especially when paired with a couple other elements that we'll get into later in this video.
Before we get started, let's hear from today's AI agents.
Join us, the Real AI Agents, as we take a trip deep in the AI woods,
where we will be using the latest Leonardo AI elements, including Fiery Flames,
SolarPunk, and Psychedelic Art, along with the new feature style reference,
to create some groovy images for Jessica to use in her latest generative AI project.
Ready to take this trip with us? Let's go!
Now let's talk about how we get into the image creation in Leonardo. When you're on your home screen, you're going to see a toolbar over on the left-hand side, and then you're going to see the Get Started here up here. Both will take you to the same places for each of the applets that they have on here. So let's go ahead and do image generation.
Let's start creating. We're in the image generation screen right now, and we're going to start off with a simple prompt here. I'm going to go with modern boho style, beautiful hippie woman, camping music festival, and we'll see what we get on this. I'm going to go ahead and for this example, I'm going to use the Lightning XL just so that I can show you some generation tips and tricks here real quick before we start adding the elements and not waste as many tokens as I would if I was using one of the models like Vision or the Kino that I typically use. If you want some more information about, the filters and models and styles and all the other elements, all of those videos that I've already done are linked in the description of this video, so you can go check those out to learn more about everything involved with image generation in Leonardo AI. But let's go ahead and create this. Before I hit generate, I just want to check to make sure all my settings are right over here. So I'm good. I've got my alchemy turned on. And I actually need to change my aspect ratio, so I'm going to hit this 16:9 here so it comes out the right size that I need for this content. And then I'm just going to come over and I'm going to hit generate. And now that that's done, we can take a look at it. That's a pretty good image of what I was going for there. You've got tents in the background, definitely establishes that she's camping. It's got that really portrait style blur to the background. Her facial structure is good. Everything, the clothing style matches what I was looking for. So that is something I could throw in the Upscaler and it would come out great. So obviously that prompt is going to work well for what I'm doing with this particular shot right now. So let's go ahead and add some elements to that prompt and see if we can get closer to an image that's a little bit more standout than what we've got now. So once you're in elements, you can choose the ones that you want to use. So the one that I'm going to use right now for this is the SolarPunk right here. It's one of the new ones, and you can see it does say it works best with Leonardo Vision XL. So if this one comes out good in Lightning, we'll switch over to that particular model so you can see the difference. But just for right now, because I do a lot of post-production editing on these images, I really just kind of need to get a rough draft image to work with. So there's no point in me wasting a bunch of tokens doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and generate again, leaving the SolarPunk element on 0.7. That seems to be my sweet spot with a lot of this image generation and elements in here. If you add multiple elements, I recommend starting at a weight of around 0.3 though, when you're just starting out with those elements. So let's take a look here. That generated a really good image. So it definitely has more of a post-apocalyptic feel to the campsite. The Background is a little bit more like a blend of the tech and nature, which is exactly what that element is set to do. So I'm happy with how that looks as far as what I'm looking for. It's even got the fire without us putting the fiery flame on. But you can see for the same prompt, just adding that element, how vastly different that image is from that image. So now let's go ahead and try it in the fine-tuned model that it actually suggested, which was this Leonardo Vision XL here. Want to make sure we have our alchemy turned on, which we do, and the weight is at 0.7 still. You can see that now that I've changed that model, it's gone from 10 tokens to generate to 16 tokens to generate one image. Let's see if it seems to be 6 tokens better. Okay, so the image is done. The lighting is definitely better. I think I like her attire better, but the leg has some weird stuff going on here, and it looks like she might have an extra foot behind her over here. I don't think that's going to do for this image, so I would have to come in and do some serious editing on this one to get it to look better with her legs. So for me personally, I don't think that that made a huge difference in my image generation. But all in all, both of those have a very cool futuristic vibe to it. So that is the SolarPunk element. So let's try it now. I'm going to go back to the lightning just to show you that this is what you would get if you were using the lightning model instead of their recommended model. I'm going to go to my favorite new one here, the Psychedelic Art. It's set with a weight of 0.8 right now. I'm going to knock that down to 0.7, and we'll take a look at how that changes our image. Okay, so she's no longer camping. It has a lot of the swirls and fractals, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. Kind of puts her in an alternate psychedelic type realm under the sky outside. So you can't necessarily see that she's camping in this one, but this would make a great shot. It's already got really good high quality to it. Once I pulled it into the Upscaler, I think it would look really, really good. This is what it looks like. That is a totally usable piece of content for me to use in the future. So now if we come back, we can actually add both of those together and see what we get. So let's select Psychedelic Art and SolarPunk on this one. So these are two of the new elements. And I'm going to change the weight to 0.3 on both. And then I'm going to go ahead and generate again in the lightning model. Okay, so now we can see here, that is a very cool image, I think. I mean, it's got beautiful flowers, not exactly the camping type vibe of the music festival, but she does have on sort of this high-tech gear, which comes from the SolarPunk element being added on. So she could be maybe hearing a symphony no one else is hearing. One of the other elements that I've really liked putting on with the Psychedelic Art and the SolarPunk is the glow wave. So if we come in and we select glow wave, you are going to see this warning that says selecting more than 2 elements may have unexpected outcomes. So they do warn you that you should use a low weight setting. That 0.3 is a pretty low weight setting, and I've experienced using 3 of these now for a while. Even before the SolarPunk and the Psychedelic Art came out, I often will use Glow Wave, Sparkle Core, and Glass Core together in a lot of my image generation. So I've found that 0.3 is a good balance to start off, especially if you have 2 or more on here. So I'm going to go ahead and generate that same prompt, still using the lightning model with the 3 elements. Okay, we can take a look now and we can see definitely the blend of it adding in the glow wave. You can see more of the vibrant, bright colors coming out in her outfit. Even the flowers have more color to them. When I take this through the Upscaler, this pink is really going to shine through. These colors are going to become a lot more crisp and vibrant. So for 30 tokens, I just made this image, and this image, just to show you with the 3 elements on what it would look like if we did use the Vision, which is the recommended filter or model that they have on all 3 of these specific elements actually. Okay, so now here we go. In the Vision XL, you can see that honestly, there's a lot more of kind of a cartoonish feel to her face. Her eyes are very blurry. I don't think I would use this image even if it were for like a quick look at something. I think it's a little too blurry and undefined for what I would like. But when I upscale this image, I bet it's going to look really, really good. And if you're wondering how I'm upscaling these, I'll actually go ahead and put a section in right here so you can check out exactly how I do it for yourself. The first thing I can do to upscale this image to see if I can get it a little bit better quality is to come down where it has this Alchemy Upscaler here. Low, medium, and high is how much you want to change the original image in the upscaling of it. So I like this image. I want to leave it fairly close to what the image is. I'm just hoping to clear up the distortion in her eyes. So this smooth mode here, I need to turn that on for this, because you'll see that it actually improves like hands and faces. So that is a goal with this upscale. So it's 8 tokens to upscale, so it is going to cost a little bit more on here. But you'll see that when I actually take this over into the universal upscaler, it's like 110 tokens to upscale it to be more photorealistic. So trying this as a first option, I think is worth the 8 tokens in my personal opinion. So we can see there, it did clear up her eye a little bit. Still has some distortion in this other one over here. It changed the appearance of the technology on her face here, and her neck as well. So you can go back and forth to see the original and then the upscaled version. So the original actually had more color and more brightness and more of that glow wave to it than the upscaled one. So what I'm going to do, since I really am not super happy with the second one, is go ahead and take the original and I'm going to upscale it for you. In order to do that, I come back to the home screen here and I go to the Universal Upscaler. And you can see that you can do add an image here. I can go over to my generations. And you can see then that those are in there. So I'm going to go ahead and select the one that I was just talking about and hit confirm. And then you see here it is 110 tokens to upscale. So again, it's your lucky day. I've got some to blow here. So I'm going to go ahead and upscale this for you guys so you can see what it would look like. Now that it's generated, we can go ahead and take a look at it. You've got a slider bar here that will show you the original image versus the upscaled image. So let's take a look as I slide it back. We can see definitely some changing of the color and the crispness in the swirls. The flowers, you'll notice, are becoming much more clear and in focus. You can actually tell what kind of flowers they are. As we run the slider over her, you can see that she now actually looks a lot more photorealistic. She's got some texture to her skin. She's got some, it looks like even birthmarks on her face that add a little bit more of the realism to the image. Her hair has become more detailed. The markings on her skin have definitely cleared up and have more of a glow to them. Her outfit has a different range of brightness to it. So all in all, that is a much better upscaled image than the original image. So that is 100% something that I could use in the future. So if you want to see the side-by-side, here we go on that one. So we've got our original image there that was created and then the upscaled version, so you can see a big difference. Now let's go back into our image generation, and this time let's take a look at how the third new element can impact our prompt. So let's go back here to lightning, and we're going to go ahead and add this fiery flames element. So what this one is made to do is to add fire to the image. So I'm not really sure how this is going to come out using our prompt, but let's go ahead and just check it out. I'm going to generate it at 0.7. Well, I don't know that she is at a music festival I would like to be at, but this could make a really cool image for something, I'm sure. You see the point of what that does. I've had a lot of success turning this down quite a bit and adding the SolarPunk along with the fiery flames. But you want the fiery flames to be turned down. So I'm going to do a weight of 0.1. And there you can see that at the 0.1, it does a much better job. She still has a little bit of like the fire reflecting off of her crown looking here. But the fires are in the background now. They're not just all around her as the focal point of where the flames have been put. And the SolarPunk did go ahead and put the tent back in. It is much more of a camping scene. So that is an example of how I've found that the fiery flames has been the one element where truly the least amount that you can put on it tends to be best to come out on the image. And it works best, again, paired with a second element. Just in my opinion, as a creator, it just came out a couple days ago, so I haven't used it quite as much, but when I have used it, that's been the experience that I've been having. And the next thing that I want to show you guys before we wrap this video up for today, we're going to find under the image guidance here. So when you come in and you go to add an image to get started on the image guidance, what this is going to do is it's going to take the image that I provided, and depending on the strength that we use, it's going to greatly change our prompt. So let's come in and add an image to get started, and I'm going to come over to my generations, and I made a picture here of my own personal flower, which is the peony. So I'm going to go ahead and click that and hit confirm, and you can see then that it pulls that image in, and you have a couple options under the type. You've got image to image, you've got the new style reference, which is what we're going to use, and then a couple other options that you have to do on your image guidance. Let's choose the style reference, and you can see that it gives you 5 options: low, mid, high, ultra, and max. So let's just run through these, and again, since I have the tokens to burn, I'll just go ahead and do an example of each so that you can see what happens when we use the exact same prompt we've been using on all of our other images today, but we add the style reference on the image guidance of this peony flower. So let's start with low and work our way up. And again, I'm doing all of these in the lightning just because I don't want to waste a lot of tokens on the generation of these things, because I'm going to have to do some post editing anyway on these images since I will actually be using them for content. So I'm going to go ahead, we'll do medium now, and high. And we can see now that all 5 of those are generating over here under our generation history. So we'll let those finish up. So you can see that it took the image of the woman camping and added sort of the petal feel from the peony, and the pink color was pulled in on the linen that she's wearing, the material around her that the tents are made out of. So you can see that there's a low impact of that peony picture being put on there. And then if we come up to the second level here, we can see a little bit more of the peony pulling in. You've got more of a look of her pink on the hat, kind of the color of her shirt here, the background flowers even. If we step it up then to the third level, You can see where her dress is actually starting to take the form of the peony more so. And again, this is on the lightning model, so obviously the pointy teeth, that sort of stuff, the distortion is all going to be cleared up when I edit it later on, but everything else looks good on the form. Next level up, you can see again, it actually is adding in more of the peony look to her crown. Even the van behind her has an awning that looks like it's made of something similar to the peony texture. The tent behind her, especially her attire, is looking more like the flower. All in all, though, that is a good image. I can definitely use that in something. And then the high level here. So in my experience, the high level causes quite a bit of warping when you do it with the style reference. But you can see back here, I mean, this looks like she's camping in a large peony petal. And then the texture behind her, everything kind of has that peony, multiple layers of very thin, wispy feel to it, including her dress. You can see that it even adds sort of the yellow center to the peony into her outfit. A lot of distortion. I would definitely have to fix her hands up here and put her in a different pose with her hands, since it gave her a few extra fingers and kind of just morphed it together as a big lump instead of two distinct hands. You can turn the style reference on, and I'm just going to back it back down to the high here and add a couple of elements to it. So let's go in and let's choose the psychedelic art. And this time let's do the sparkle pour. I'm going to take them down both to 0.3. And generate an image on that. And you can see what that produces is absolutely beautiful. Not as much in the camping realm, but beautiful texture to the background here, the flowers. Just for fun, let's go ahead and take the sparkle core off and add the SolarPunk and the fiery flames. So we will use the style reference and all three of the new elements. Again, I'm going to knock the fiery flames down to 0.1 so that it doesn't just put flame everywhere. And the SolarPunk I'm going to bring down to 0.3. Psychedelic art is already set at 0.3 and our style reference is on high. Let's go ahead and generate that. Very interesting. So it did not put a lot of fire on here, but it almost combined the fire with the SolarPunk in making a portal here. You could almost imagine these as flames going around her with the different pink color. Almost like a little burst of the flower petals at the top here. Definitely changed her appearance, almost made her like the peony with the way that her attire is very light and wispy. It has the yellow in the middle, the yellow focus of her hair, almost as though she is the flower. All in all, that's a very cool image. I'm interested to see what it's going to look like post-editing and upscaling, so I will show you that right now. Okay, so pretty cool there as well. What do you think? Which image is your favorite? What combination of elements that we used today did you like best together? Let me know in the comments. There you have it, guys. We have generated a whole lot of content for what I need for the summer vibe feel on a couple different concert things that are coming up here soon. I have been using these elements for the last couple of days on this project that I've been working on in particular. So enjoy a quick little snippet of some of the images that I've put together using these elements. You know, I love using Suno to create music to go along with these videos. So I did put together a little short 2-minute song using Suno AI here, along with some of the images that weren't quite good enough to use in the client portfolio I was putting together. But I thought you guys might enjoy seeing them, so check it out, see what you think.
Under the glow of the setting sun, friends and strangers, we all become one. Laughter blending with the evening air, magic moments that we all share. Feel the beat as it sways the grass. Your song, a memory that will forever last. These are the summer nights to remember, igniting souls from May to September. In the music we find our true connection. In every note, a reflection of perfection. Wandering hearts on festival grounds, where every smile breaks the bounds. Hands up high, the starry sky. In this moment we all fly high. From the stage the lights cascade on faces where no shadows lay. We dance away our fleeting cares. In the summer night we lay our shares, igniting souls from May to September. In the music we find our true connection. In every note, a reflection of perfection. As the dawn breaks over the bar, with peace still throbbing in our hearts. Till next year, under the same roof, we'll return to. As the dawn breaks and what depart, peace still throbbing in our hearts. Till next year, under the same roof, we'll return to this summer sleep.
Let me know in the comments if you have something that you want me to cover in the future. I appreciate you guys spending some time with me today to learn all of the latest Leonardo updates, including the elements Psychedelic Art, Solar Punk, and Fiery Flames, and the new image guidance style reference ability. I'm Jessica with the Real AI Agents, and as always, keep looking towards the future.